Income isn't just a number on a pay stub. It's the size of your apartment, the quality of your sleep, the options your kids will have, and the distance between you and the worst day of your life. Every income level has a different version of normal, a different set of doors that open, a different set that stay shut, a different version of you. This is your life at every level of income, from $30,000 to $500,000. Let's start at the bottom. Your income is $30,000 a year. You take home $2,050 a month after taxes. The average one-bedroom apartment in the United States rents for $1,575. That's 77% of your take-home pay before you've bought a single thing. You don't live in an average city. You live somewhere cheaper. You found a $975 a month room in a shared apartment. Two other people, one bathroom, a kitchen that fits two bodies at once. You didn't choose this. You did the math, and this was the answer. After rent, you have $1,075 left. Gas and car insurance take $310. Groceries are $280, and you know every store brand swap by heart. Utilities, phone, and health insurance take another $240. You have $245 left. Not for savings, for everything else. The unexpected, the copay you didn't see coming, the tire, the deductible. You don't have an emergency fund. You know you're supposed to have one. 3 to 6 months of expenses, every financial article says. That's $6,000 minimum. You've never seen $6,000 in one place that was yours. Living paycheck to paycheck isn't a failure of discipline. At $30,000, it's arithmetic. The numbers don't add up to a cushion. They add up to just enough. You cannot afford to be sick. Not for more than a day. Missing a shift means missing $120. Missing $120 means the phone bill is late. The phone bill being late means the late fee, and the late fee means next month is harder than this one. The system isn't cruel. It's just indifferent. And indifference at $30,000 costs more than cruelty would. At $30,000, the word security doesn't apply to your life. Every month is a negotiation between the things you need and the money you have, and the money always comes up short. Your income is $55,000 a year. Take home is about $3,650 a month. You're above the national median individual income of $41,000. You don't feel above average. You feel like you're keeping up barely with a cost of living that keeps moving away from you. You have your own apartment now. $1,350 a month, a one-bedroom in a decent neighborhood, nothing special. After rent, car payment at $387 a month, insurance at $148, groceries at $340, utilities and subscriptions at $190, and a minimum payment of $140 on $6,800 in credit card debt from 2 years ago when your hours got cut. You have $1,095 a month for everything else. Everything else includes gas, dining out twice a month, a haircut, replacing the thing that broke, saving a little. You save $280 a month. That's $3,360 a year. In 18 months, you'll have your first $5,000 emergency fund. That's the goal you've written down. Not a vacation, not a car upgrade. Just the buffer that means one bad month doesn't become 6 bad months. You max out your employer match on the 401k. Not the whole 401k, just enough to get the free money. 4% of your salary, $2,200 a year. You understand compound interest. You know the earlier you put money in, the harder it works. But $23,500 a year, the full limit is $1,958 a month you don't have. You watch the people around you who make more. You can't always tell who they are by how they look, but you can tell when someone says, let's just go out, or without checking the price of the restaurant first. They don't look at the right side of the menu. That's the tell. At $55,000, you always check the right side. At $55,000, you're building something. Slowly. The foundation isn't visible yet, but it's being poured every month. It's just that every unexpected expense is a shovel taking some back out. Your income is $90,000 a year. Take home is $5,700 a month. The math changed. Not because you're rich, because for the first time, the money that comes in is more than the money the life costs. There's a gap. And the gap is where the future lives. You bought a home, a $340,000 townhouse, 5% down, 6.7% on a 30-year fixed. Your mortgage plus taxes and insurance is $2,490 a month. That's 44% of take-home. High, but you're building equity. Every payment, a piece of it becomes yours. Not the bank's, yours. You max your 401k now. $23,500 a year. That's $1,958 a month coming out before you see it. It hurts the first time. Then it becomes invisible. The money you never see doesn't feel like money you're losing. It feels like money you're setting aside for a person who will thank you later. After mortgage, 401k, groceries, car insurance, and utilities, you have about $900 a month in true discretionary income. That's the number that matters. $900. You can take one real vacation a year. You can go to dinner without checking the right side of the menu. You can absorb a $600 car repair without reorganizing the entire month. The credit card balance is gone. You paid it off in 14 months after the raise. That $140 a month that was going to interest is now going to a brokerage account. It doesn't feel like much. It's $1,680 a year. But it's invested. It's compounding. In 10 years, at a historical average of 8%, that $1,680 a year will be worth $26,000. The math works even on small numbers if you start early enough. At $90,000, the anxiety about money doesn't disappear, but it changes shape. At $30,000, you worried about this month. At $90,000, you worry about the next 10 years. That's not the same problem. That's a better problem. Your income is $150,000 a year. After taxes, you take home about $8,700 a month. You live in a city where this is upper middle class comfort, not luxury, comfort. The difference matters. Your mortgage is $3,100 on a $520,000 home. You put 20% down, $104,000, which meant no PMI and a better rate. Getting there took 4 years of discipline and one bonus that you didn't touch. The house has appreciated $60,000 since you bought it. You don't count that as real money because you live in it. But it's there. You max your 401k and your Roth IRA. $23,500 into the 401k, $7,000 into the Roth. That's $30,500 a year, going into tax-advantaged retirement accounts. $2,541 a month. After housing, retirement, groceries, car, and insurance, you have $2,100 in true discretionary income, more than most, enough to feel the space. You fly twice a year. Not first class, economy with the extra legroom option. You've noticed first class while walking to your seat. You don't think about it much. You think about it a little. Your kids are in public school. A good one because you moved to the district with the good one, which is part of why the house cost $520,000. Education is still a decision you make with your zip code and your price point, not your actual preferences. Private school is $24,000 to $40,000 per child per year. At $150,000, that math doesn't work without cutting everything else. The $150,000 lifestyle is the first level where money doesn't occupy your daily thoughts. It's there in the background. Decisions get made, trade-offs get managed, but you're not watching the account every day. You're watching it every week. That's a different category of freedom. At $150,000, you have options. Not all options, but real ones. The life you're living was a goal once. Now it's Tuesday. Your income is $300,000 a year. Take home after federal and state taxes is somewhere between $14,000 and $16,000 a month, depending on your state. You've stopped thinking about money in terms of monthly. You think in annual. The perspective shift is subtle, but it's real. Monthly thinking is survival math. Annual thinking is strategy. You bought the better house. $900,000, 20% down, 6.2% on a 30-year. Mortgage, taxes, and insurance run $5,400 a month. That's 34% of take home. Inside the 30% guideline, technically, the house has a guest room that functions as an office. The kitchen has the counters you wanted. You don't think about the kitchen. You max every account. $23,500 in the 401k, $7,000 in the Roth, $4,300 a month into a taxable brokerage. You own index funds. You don't touch them. You have a fee-only financial advisor. You pay $3,600 a year to review the allocation and run the tax strategy. Last year, they found $7,200 in tax savings. The advisor pays for itself twice. Private school is now a real conversation. $32,000 a year per child. You have 2 kids. That's $64,000. After taxes, that's real money, money that would otherwise go into the brokerage. You choose public school and a tutor and a summer program. The decision is yours now. It was never yours at $55,000. It's yours now. You flew business class to Europe last year. It was the first time. You sat in the wide seat, the one that folds flat. And you had a moment of clarity about the distance you'd traveled. Not the miles, but the income levels. 6 years earlier, you were on a Spirit flight, middle seat, carry-on wedged into someone else's overhead bin. At $300,000, the number that was the ceiling when you started your career is now the floor. The life you have required building. The discipline it took isn't visible from the outside. From the outside, it looks like you got lucky or got a good job or know the right people. From the inside, you know it was 15 years of right side of the menu math, compound interest, and never touching the brokerage account. Your income is $500,000 a year. After taxes, you keep somewhere between $25,000 and $28,000 a month. The marginal dollar you earn is taxed at 37% federal plus state. You work with a CPA now, not just a financial advisor. Tax optimization at this income level is a full-time project for someone on your team. Last year, they found $31,000 in legal tax savings. Not loopholes, strategies, backdoor Roth conversions, tax loss harvesting, timing of capital gains, entity structure for the consulting income. The complexity is real. The savings are real. The mortgage on the $1.4 million home is $6,800 a month. You bought it because the schools are the best in the district, the commute is 22 minutes, and the house has the space your family uses. It's not a status purchase. It's a functional decision made from a position of full options. That's the thing about $500,000. Almost every decision is made from full options. The kids are in private school, $38,000 each. 2 kids, $76,000 a year after tax. You paid it without restructuring anything else. That's not bragging. That's just the arithmetic of this income level. The number fits. You have 7 income streams now. The W-2 salary, the brokerage dividends, the rental property that generates $2,200 a month net, the advisory board seat that pays $40,000 a year, the deferred compensation plan, the options, the interest on the treasury bills in the short-term account. Not all of them are large. All of them are real. If one disappears tomorrow, 6 remain. That's not a luxury. That's engineering. You max every account. You fund a 529 for each child. You have a 12-month emergency fund in a high-yield account earning 4.4% APY. $180,000 sitting in cash, working while it waits. You don't think of it as lost opportunity. You think of it as the price of sleeping without worry. You flew first class last month. The seat was wide and the meal was warm, and the flight attendant knew your drink order after the first refill. You thought about the Spirit flight, the middle seat, the wedged carry-on, the right side of the menu. You didn't feel superior. You felt the distance. Same person, different altitude, different arithmetic, same roads for the most part, just fewer places where the road closes. At $500,000, money is no longer a constraint. It's a tool, and the tool is sharp enough now that it mostly does the work itself. This is the full distance. At $30,000, housing alone was 77% of take-home. At $500,000, it's 24%. At $30,000, an emergency was a crisis. At $500,000, it's a line item. At $30,000, retirement was a concept you knew about. At $500,000, it's running on autopilot at $30,500 a year. Same country, same system, 6 different lives. Your income determines your options. Your options determine your decisions. Your decisions compound over years into a life that looks from the outside like luck and from the inside like math. The number you make tomorrow is not fixed, but the decisions you make today, what you save, what you invest, what you don't touch, work exactly the same at $55,000 as they do at $500,000. The scale changes, the principles don't. Every dollar you save before you need it is a door that opens later. Every dollar you spend before you have it is a door that closes. The distance between $30,000 and $500,000 isn't a single leap. It's a sequence of those choices made in the same direction long enough for the math to take over. Start with the next dollar, let the rest compound.